It's workout number 6. Here we are back at the 4 bells. Today we are focusing on upper body pushing. That is going to be the aim of the game today. And just like we did in our previous video, we're going to have 3 sections to this video. We're going to talk about the warm-up, then we're going to talk about the strength piece, and then by no means least are we going to talk about the conditioning piece last. So our warm-up piece today is an exercise that I absolutely love, the Turkish get-up. Funny name, fantastic exercise. The Turkish get-up addresses shoulder stability in pretty much every single range of motion of the shoulder apart from extension, so bringing the arm behind me. It covers shoulder stability through pretty much every single range of motion you can ask for. So it's a great tool, not only as a warm-up tool, you can use it as a prehab, a rehab tool, you can use it as a strength tool, muscular endurance tool. It's very versatile, but today we are using it in our warm-up. The Turkish get-up, which we're going to go over the technique for in just a second. In terms of how we're doing it today, we're going to do 1 rep on one side. So if you know the Turkish get-up, you know it starts from the floor. We then go up to standing and then go back down to the floor. That's 1 rep. I'm going to do 1 rep on one arm and then 1 rep on the other arm. We're just going to go back and forth for 5 minutes. So of course, depending on whether you have a fully stocked gym available to you or whether you have no equipment, it's really going to depend on how challenging you want this warm-up to be. So it could be done with just body weight, could be done with a shoe, could be done with a can of beans, could be done with a dumbbell. There's a lot of options. Always don't forget the cat. Cat is always a very viable option. So when it comes to the Turkish get-up, there's 6 movements starting from the floor to standing and back down. So let's go over them very quickly. Of course, there's a lot of nuances to this. I could talk for this for about half an hour about the Turkish get-up. We're going to try and get this done in just a couple of minutes for you guys watching. So when it comes to the Turkish get-up, I'm going to start in a supine position laying on the floor. And the idea is that one side of my body is the support side, and the other side of my body, my arm and leg, are helping me transition from the floor to standing. So on my support side, I'm holding onto a weight, whether it's a cat, a dumbbell, kettlebell, whatever it is. I'm trying to make sure I'm supporting this weight. I'm not allowing the elbow to bend at all. I don't want that weight coming back on my face. So I support the arm up, leg bent on this side should be about 90 degrees. Big mistake I see is people with their heel too close to their bum. I want to make sure I've got a nice 90-degree bend in that leg. The other arm and leg out to 45 degrees from the body. So the first movement is not a sit-up. I'm not trying to sit up, but I am trying to roll over. So imagine you're trying to get out of bed in the morning. From there, I come up onto the hand. My right hip comes up to the ceiling. Left heel sweeps through. In this position, ideally, I should have heel, knee, and wrist in a line that should be fairly equidistant. From there, as I come up into a lunge position, I've got to make sure the legs feel lungy. So that means I'm going to straighten them out and make sure they're on train tracks. Keeping that arm straight, I stand up, bring the feet together, and then we just make our way back down. I'm going to step back with the leg, pivot that leg in as I bring the hand to the floor. The leg comes through, bum down, elbow down, lay down. So that's what we're looking for in our Turkish get-up today. If you can, just do it at body weight. If you don't have any devices at home, if you want to make it a bit more challenging, add some weight if you like. We're going to do 1 rep on one side, 1 rep on the other, back and forth for 5 minutes or 300 seconds of joy. Okay, workout 6, strength piece, pretty straightforward. We have 5 sets. Each set is 4 minutes long, split into 2 2-minute segments. So that means if I am doing it at a gym at home, if I have a nice full setup, we're doing something slightly different than we are if we're at home and we don't have any equipment available to us. So if we are at home and we have barbells and dumbbells and fun things available to us, today we are going to do a bench press for 5 reps. We can go over technique for the bench press today as well. And we're also going to do, well, that's going to be in our first 2 minutes. And in my second 2 minutes, I'm going to do bicep curls for 10 reps. So that means I've got 2 minutes to do the bench press for 5 reps and 2 minutes to do the bicep curl for 10 reps. I'm not trying to do both in 2 minutes. I've got 2 minutes to do each. If I can, with the bench press and with the bicep curl, I'm trying to get progressively heavier as those 5 sets go on. So if you need to do a little warm-up set or 2 first before you start your clock timer, feel free to do so. If you are doing them equipment free, we are going to look at some push-ups and some bicep isometrics today. So with the push-up, we're going to do 10 reps. So a way to scale push-ups is really dependent on where your push-up level is. Excuse me. So that means if you are still scaling your push-ups, that may mean you want to be on the back of your sofa, That may mean you want to be doing the stairs in your house. That may mean you are trying to do them off the kitchen counter, whatever it is. If you can do push-ups and you find a regular push-up pretty easy, then how do you make it more challenging? So that could be diamond push-ups, could be clapping push-ups. If you're very advanced, you could be doing 5 reps of a one-arm push-up on one side and 5 reps of a one-arm push-up on the other side. Whatever it is, you've got to try and make it challenging for you. So just like with a barbell where you're trying to progressively overload the weight, in this movement, where it's a body weight movement, we're trying to progress the intensity depending on what your skill and strength level is. In my second movement, my bicep isometric, we're going to talk about how to do that with a simple strap or a belt at home, and then we're going to go over the finer points of that in just a second. So let's talk very quickly about bench pressing. So bench pressing, there's a lot of different schools of thought when it comes to bench pressing. It really depends on what kind of bench presser am I. So am I a power lifter? Am I a generalist? Where do I lie on that spectrum? And that's really going to dictate how my hand position should be, what's going on with my body, what's happening with my legs. But really I need to treat the bench press as a full body movement. So it's not just about laying down on the bench and flopping down and just pressing up and down. You should be trying to create as much tension through the body as possible. So that means my first base of support is always going to be my upper back. I need to think about drawing the shoulder blades together and trying to create a nice stable base. When I'm on the bench, I want to make sure that the hands are nice and even, but more importantly, where do my hands want to be depending on my shoulder health. So if the hands come wider, it's going to put more stress on the shoulders. If you have relatively banged up shoulders, my advice is that your bench press grip is a little bit closer. So for me, I'll probably have what I would consider to be like a very average grip, not excessively wide, not excessively close, but I'm going to make sure that the outside of my palms come to the first ring of the bar, setting up, making sure the hands are even. If you like thumbs around the bar, feel free to do so. If you like thumbs or in a neutral grip, feel free to use those too. So, squeezing the shoulder blades together. I create like a little arch, should have a nice gap in the low back. Depending on how much tension I like to create through the legs, maybe I'm bringing the feet back a little bit, trying to drive the feet into the floor as if I was going to squat myself up the bench. From here, I unrack the bar, nice tricep extension out, let the bar settle into the shoulder socket for a second before I control down to the chest, should be about nipple line, and then I press back up. So we're looking to do 5 reps of a bench press today. Always remember that if you are planning on going heavier with a bench press, make sure you've got someone around to save you if you are training alone. Or if you are training alone, don't go too heavy if you're not sure. From here, bicep curl. Bicep curl could be anything you have available to you. It could be done with dumbbells. Could be done with a fat axle bar that I have here. Could be you standing on a resistance band doing curls with a resistance band. Again, you might need to get creative. But either way, if I'm using a barbell, I'm going to have my hands just outside of shoulder width, making sure the arms are nice and straight at the bottom. I curl up, palms just in front of the shoulder, and a nice, smooth control down. We're not flopping the weight and moving the weight around with the body. It should be nice and controlled, smooth on the way up, smooth on the way down. So, that's what happens if we have equipment. If we don't have equipment, maybe we're just working on a regular push-up. But just like with the bench press, I need to think about the shoulders, make sure I'm training with longevity in mind. So, when it comes to a regular push-up position, whether I'm doing this with my hand on the edge of the stairs, or if I'm doing this with my hand on the edge of the sofa, whatever it happens to be, hand position is the same. Which means I reach out the hand straight down from the shoulders, and ideally, I want to have the pit of my elbow pointing forwards. From here, this position of external rotation allows me to either use the lats, the big pulling muscles of the upper back, to stabilize the shoulder. I'm going to come into my plank position, control down, and push back up. Now maybe for you the regular push-up is easy, so maybe we're moving out to diamond positions. Maybe that's easy, maybe we're getting into a one-arm push-up variation. Whatever it is, find 10 reps that are challenging for you. Last but not least, bicep isometric. So with the bicep isometric, an easy way to do it is to use a strap. So this is a strap from one of our rings we have at the gym. What I'm looking to do is set the hands up where I can get the most contraction out of the bicep. So for everyone, that's pretty much around parallel with the upper arm. So I'm going to set the hands up on the strap, find out where that position is where I feel like I've got a lot of tension through the bicep, And the idea is, obviously pulling with both arms, is that across 45 seconds, I'm going to try and increase the intensity. So that means the first 15 seconds should be 30%, next 15 seconds should be like 60 or 70%, and the last 15 seconds should be 100%. So I'm trying to almost snap the strap. That's the aim of the game. So I'm going to wrap the strap around the hands, make sure I'm in a comfortable position. Go a little bit higher. And then from there, I'm trying to pull those biceps up, trying to create as much tension through the strap as possible. So it shouldn't be easy. You should be shaking a little bit. 15 seconds easy-ish, 15 seconds harder. Last 15 seconds should be the absolute hardest. And that is our strength piece today. Hello, it's the conditioning piece for workout number 6. So our conditioning piece today is an ascending ladder of 3 different movements. So what does that mean? That means every time we see the movement, we're going to do more reps. So as you can see here, it says 1 to 10. And we've got push-ups, pull-ups, and hanging knee raises to look at. We're going to talk about some options of what you can do if you don't have all the equipment in just a second. But let's just for a second pretend we do. So in my first round, I'm going to do 1 push-up, 1 pull-up, 1 hanging knee raise. In my second round, 2 push-ups, 2 pull-ups, 2 hanging knee raises. Third round, you might have already guessed, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, and on we go until we get to 10 of each. So when we're looking at this workout, there's a few things we need to think about. The first one is obviously, do I have a pull-up bar available to me? And also when I'm looking at push-ups, is what options do I have for push-ups? So as we spoke about before in the strength piece, if you can't do push-ups on the floor, we're going to talk about how it should look on the edge of a couch or on your stairs in just a second. When it comes to pull-ups, if you can't do pull-ups, but you know that being in a supinated position, palms facing you, chin-ups, is easier, feel free to do that. If you only have rings available to you or straps over the door, maybe it's trying to make the most challenging row or ring row you can do. When it comes to the hanging knee raise, if you've got a chin-up bar or a pull-up bar and you can hang from it and do your hanging knee raises, fantastic. But if you don't, then it might be leg raises on the floor. As you can see, it says leg raises times 3. So that may find for a lot of people, leg raises are going to be significantly easier than a hanging knee raise. So instead of doing 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 of a leg raise, it might be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 and so on and so forth. So think about what you want to do depending on what you have available to you. So let's talk about push-ups very quickly. So push-ups, as we spoke about in the strength piece, is all about trying to make sure we protect the shoulders as much as possible. So that means, do I have the hands in a nice position that make the shoulders feel happy? If you can't do them on the floor, this lovely soft bench mimics very nicely the edge of a couch, possibly be 1, 2, maybe 3 stairs up if you've got stairs at home. The rules still apply the same. Hands should be shoulder width. The bottom of the palm should be resting on the edge of the object I'm pressing into. Make sure the object is very stable, it's not going to move around. Nice tight plank position. We bring the chest down and press ourselves away. That's going to be our push-ups today. From there, when it comes to pull-ups, pull-ups are always a bit more challenging than chin-ups because that pronated, that palms away from you position means that we're going to be working with the lats a lot more versus with the chin-up where I'm going to be working with the elbow flexors or the biceps a lot more. So, with a pull-up, hand should be just outside shoulder width, nice straight arm from a dead hang. I pull up and then come back down to a straight arm. If that is not available to you, maybe it's going to be a strap over a door, maybe it's some rings. Either way, try to make sure that those reps we're doing are as challenging as possible. I'm not just doing easy reps. I'm having a chat. Did you see the game last night? Yeah, it was wonderful. It should be challenging. If you have a chin-up bar available and you can do hanging knee raises, fantastic. Hands should be just outside of shoulder width. I bring the knees up to the chest, nice and smooth and controlled. As I said, maybe if you're doing leg raises, maybe you're going to do 3 times the amount you would do in a hanging knee raise. Laying on the floor, hands underneath the bum, keeping the legs straight, heels just hover off the floor, and I raise up to the ceiling. So that's what we're looking for today. If you can see on the board, it says 18 minutes, which for some of you guys you might think, well, that is a lot of time.
The emphasis today is to not try and blaze through this as fast as possible. I really want the focus to be on quality movements. Every rep of a push-up should be super sexy. Every rep of a pull-up should be delicious. Try and make sure that every time we move, it's as crisp and beautiful as it can be, and that's the conditioning piece for today.